Hi, Hiram here. The last couple of days I've been doing some boil tests on this Survival EDC Ultralight Titanium Alcohol Stove that I got on eBay. It's basically a cheap knockoff of the ever new Ultralight Titanium Alcohol Stove, just cheaper. I've been doing some simmer tests with pot right on the stove instead of using the ever new titanium cross stand. But in one of my last videos, I had commented, or it was about that I thought that when these bottom holes are burning, that you don't actually get a flame off the top holes. Because I think I confused some people. When I put the pot right onto the stove, they thought flames were still coming out of here. That, it was goofing it all up. So I tried to explain that I think, and this is just my opinion, that you may get vapors out of these holes, but you don't actually get flames here. Then I got a comment from Jack Watkins, where Jack had said, Hiram, if you put the pot 1 inch above the holes, the stove burns twice as fast as it would if the pot were directly on the top rim. It says, this doesn't match with the upper holes not producing heat. If you leave the stove completely uncovered, it burns much faster than it would if the pot was sitting on the upper rim. The pot sitting on the upper rim is supposed to burn much slower because this is its simmer mode, which is true. This is what I've been told is the simmer mode. Not a true simmer mode because you still get the water to a boil, but it's a lower flame. But thinking about what Jack was saying about the 1 inch above the holes, if you put the ever new titanium pot stand on, that is about 1 inch between the bottom of the pot and these jets on the lower end. I still don't think these flame, but they probably do give off vapor. But I was thinking about that as another way to use this, instead of having the another, what I call it, consider it an expensive piece of gear. I was thinking just to raise the pot up so that there's 1 inch, that 1 inch sweet spot between these jets and up. What would be a cheap way of doing it? And I thought maybe something like this. It's just a tomato paste can that's been cut off. It started like this. I cut it with my Dremel tool. So you have a piece that this is about 48.48 inches tall, about 12.4 millimeters. No holes in this, it's just a solid lid. This fits on the burner real nice. It locks right in there. So I want to try a test putting this on with the pot on top. Now I know you might be saying, but there's no holes in there. What's going to happen? Well, I think by blocking these upper jets, it'll force the alcohol out of the lower jets a little bit harder. So let me get some water prep, get some alcohol in here, and I'll be right back for this, what I call a DIY pot stand. So be right back. Okay, I've got 2 cups of water sitting at 60 degrees. I put 30 milliliters of methanol in the stove and took out 1 milliliter to put in the primer pan. Let's light that. Turn on the timer. I think you can see that I have the do-it-yourself pot stand on top of this. It seems to form a real nice seal. Okay, I can hear the alcohol starting to heat up. Let's just fan it. There we go. So about 27 seconds, let's say 25, 27 seconds. Like you can see, it's really pumping out because the primer's still going, so it's really pushing out alcohol vapors. This usually gets out, the primer usually goes down at about a minute. Kind of looks like this is wasting it. Okay, it's calming down. There goes the primer at about 59 seconds, and there's your regular flames. Boy, I can't talk this morning. So let's see how long it takes for this to get to a boil, and then how long for run out. Okay, we're now at the 2-minute mark. That's 2 minutes since I lit this. It's only been about a minute since the primer pan went out. and the temperature was already up to, oh, I missed it there, what was it, like 107 degrees or so, and it's climbing fast. You can see it's a pretty nice flame. Again, the distance between the jets and the bottom of the pot is about that 1-inch sweet spot that seems to always, well, I shouldn't say always, but quite often seems to fall on this alcohol vapor stoves. Okay, so good flames. Let's see how long it takes to boil. There we have 210, 211. Come on. 212 in 6 minutes 50 seconds. Okay, not bad. While I was sitting here waiting for this to come to a boil, I was thinking that maybe it would be a good idea to punch a couple of holes in the stand part. If you filled this up with alcohol and vapors built up inside that inner chamber, you know, of the stove, I guess it is conceivable that the alcohol could be forced out. So maybe just 1 or 2 holes in the lid and on the sides just to relieve whatever vapor pressure you get there. Might be a good idea. So let's see how long this takes for run out. Okay, the flames are gone at 11:08. 11:08. Interesting. So that was 2 cups of water starting at 60 degrees. Got to a boil in 6 minutes 50 seconds, which is about 5 minutes faster than what it did without the DIY pot stand, if the pot was right on top of the stove. And then it ran for 11 minutes 8 seconds. On the other test, the previous test without that on there, having the pot right on, 2 cups of water to a boil in 11 minutes 41 seconds, and then ran out at 19 minutes 27 seconds. So of course, if you get a faster boil time, the run time after that is going to be shorter. Now the one thing you could do is, if you're using something like this DIY and it's on there, once your water got to a boil, you could take this off, put the pot right on there, and knock it down to the simmer mode. With this on here, that was a hard boil for the whole 11 minutes. The other thing, like I said, sitting here thinking, if somebody filled this up with alcohol, I'm only putting 30 milliliters in here, but it will take a little more than 2 fluid ounces. They've got a marker on there. And if you use something like this, then the vapors in here might build and force alcohol out through the jets. So it might be a good idea to put 1 hole here and 1 or 2 holes on the side, just so that you can't get a buildup of vapor pressure there. So anyway, that's interesting. Just a cheap little, I mean, this is a cheap stand. Now I made it using my Dremel tool. Just cut it off there. I'm sure if you drew a line, you could take a hacksaw to it. But a nice, simple, cheap pot stand. So I thank Jack Watkins for his comment. I thank you for watching my videos. I look forward to your input, questions, remarks, helpful suggestions, just like Jack's. And as always, watch for my buddy Max. Bye now.